Hello everyone, David A. Cox here with PCClassesOnline.com, and today we are going to be discussing how you can cut your cable television bill. I think a lot of people out there, myself included, feel that we just pay way too much for something that we don't really use much of. For example, you probably have access to hundreds of TV stations through your cable provider, but how many of those do you actually watch? If you're anything like me, I maybe watch a total of 12 different networks, and the number of shows that I watch on those networks isn't that much. So here are a few different ways that you can cut your cable bill by utilizing some technologies, both through gadgets and online services. So pretty much no matter which option you go with, you're probably going to want this first gadget, which is called the Leaf. And the Leaf is basically a really small, really thin, and wall-mountable antenna. This is going to get you all of your local television stations in full high definition, and it's really inexpensive. If you want to buy the Leaf, you can of course find a link in the video description of this particular video, or you can find it on our website at PCClassesOnline.com/store. We have added a section to the store called Kill Your Cable Bill. You'll find pretty much everything I show you here in that store. Now, the next two services are online services where you can gain access to the content. You may or may not need the paid version of at least one of them. So let's go over it. The first one is Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus is an online service. It's $8 a month, and it just gains you access so that you can subscribe to individual television shows. What I would strongly recommend doing is before you go paying for Hulu Plus, first, I recommend doing a free trial. You'll find a link to where you can take a 2-week free trial as opposed to on their website, which is only 1 week, in the description of this video. Or if you want to just go straight there, it's tinyurl.com/Hulu via PCO. Very simple. Next is Netflix. A lot of people, myself included, have very mixed feelings of Netflix. I've always said that, hey, if you want to make $1 billion, just go back to Netflix's business plan from 10 years ago. So right now, Netflix now charges $8 a month for a similar service where you can watch online movies and some television shows. The problem is that most people don't like the content because, after all of these things use licensing agreements, which do cost both of these companies a lot of money. So with Netflix, you can gain access to some of those shows. That being said, they are now producing their own shows, and some of them are pretty good, so you can check that out. If you want to go a little bit further than this, you can upgrade your Netflix plan and get DVDs of pretty much every movie shipped to your door. Still not a bad option. I'm just not impressed with the price you now have to pay to gain access to that. Now what I want to do is show you the gadgets that you're going to need to be able to get this content on your television, and there's several different ways that you can do it. The first is Apple TV. If you go with Apple TV, it's a great idea to go with this if you already own a Mac, an iPad, or an iPhone. Meaning, if you have an Apple computer, you can actually sling the signal from your computer onto your television. This is also one way to get around a paid Hulu Plus account. So here's basically the way Hulu Plus works. If you go to Hulu on a computer, it's free. If you go to Hulu on a device, such as an iPhone, iPad, or one of these other gadgets, for example, Apple TV, through the app version, then you have to pay for it. So you can simply get Hulu Plus for free by using Apple TV and a Mac. So you'd pull up the television show that you want to watch on your computer and then sling it wirelessly onto your television through Apple TV. That is one way to do it. This is what the back of Apple TV looks like. So you see here we have an HDMI cable, which will have to go into your television. Apple TV only works if you do have a high-def TV. If you don't, the next option is going to be better for you. You have a optical audio out cable, so if you want the best sound possible, if your television or stereo system supports optical, you have that right there. And also, if you happen to have a router right near your TV, you might as well plug your router directly into Apple TV so that you get the absolute fastest speed possible. If you don't worry, of course this device does also have access to Wi-Fi. This is what Apple TV basically looks like. So you can see you have a whole bunch of different apps here. This screenshot is actually from a couple months ago. So there's been many, many more apps added since then. But here's where you'll see both Netflix and Hulu Plus. Again, the way to get around a paid Hulu Plus subscription is to simply sling the signal wirelessly from an Apple computer. Next is this little gadget here called the Roku 3. Now, if you do not have a high-def TV, they do have older versions of the Roku that support analog sets. So you can just check those out. We'll have a bunch of the Rokus listed, of course, on our store. One of the nice features of the Roku 3 is the fact that you can plug headphones directly into the remote control. So let's say you decide to place this thing inside your bedroom and you don't want to wake your partner at night. You can plug your headphones into the remote and listen without disturbing them. Now, the next option is to go with this little gadget called Chromecast. This little dongle plugs, again, right into the back of your TV. This is by far the least expensive option. It's only $35. Comes with everything that you really need. In order to access the controls, you're going to need either an iPhone, an Android phone, a Google Chrome web browser, or a Chromebook, theoretically, if you actually have one. And it's access to the same kinds of apps that I've been showing you just on your television. The final option is to go with a Mac Mini. Now, this little box, which is barely over an inch tall, is an entire computer. You can either put this in your console, or they do make little devices to wall mount this or mount it to the back side of your TV if you want to hide it. You are going to need a wireless keyboard and wireless mouse, or wireless trackpad if you prefer. But you have now a full computer that is just using your television as the monitor. And as with Apple TV, if you mirror a laptop, with this, if you open your web browser and go to hulu.com, it doesn't know that you're doing this on a device. It's an actual computer, so you avoid having to pay a monthly fee for the same content. One final trick I did want to share with all of you is, what if in the process of doing all of this, there's maybe one or two shows that you just can't get? Like, you can't get it on Hulu, you can't get it on Netflix, you can't get it on the web. There is one other option. Let's say you have a show that you watch on HBO. Well, you can't just have HBO and nothing else. However, one way you can get around that is to buy a season pass through iTunes. So if you go into the iTunes store and go into TV shows and scroll down a little bit, you'll see that towards the bottom, we have a list of different networks here. We have premium cable, such as HBO, Showtime, and Starz, cable channels, as well as the basic broadcast networks. So let's say you're addicted to the show Veep on HBO. You can go into the HBO channel here. Here are all their different shows that they have. And let's go here into Veep Season 2. And you can buy a season pass to just this one show. So you're paying $28 for the entire season. That's what this particular show costs. All the different shows are different prices, so that's by no means a standard. And you can usually download them either in high definition, or if you want to save a little bit, you can go down to standard definition and you save $10 in this case. That's one final trick I wanted to give you to get around if you have maybe a couple of different shows that you just really, really wish you had access to through those other options, but you don't. This is one way you can still get what you want. This is David A. Cox with PCClassesOnline.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't mind clicking that little like button at the bottom of this video, we really appreciate it. And you can check out, of course, all of our classes and videos on our website at PCClassesOnline.com. That's all, everyone. Take care.